Hello gamers, my name is Seated Gamer and welcome back to another booster opening video. Today we've got, in celebration of the Amonkhet pre-release, we've got some Amonkhet boosters to open that I got first showing up to my local pre-release. So let's just get right into this. I am going to take my time going through these boosters, but they are going to both be opened in this video. So might take a while, but it'll be worth it, I promise, probably. Alright, we're going to start off with an interesting card. We have Winged Shepherd, 5 and a white for a 3/3 angel with flying and vigilance. 6 mana, 3/3 flying vigilance, that's alright. I mean, you play it in a deck, like this is not a terrible top end, it can be like just a decent finisher. But it does have another line of text which reads cycling for a single white. So you can pay a white, discard this card and draw a card. So if it's early game, you really need to be able to hit that land drop on the next turn. You happen to have 1 white mana up, then yeah, cycling this guy might just be worth it. I don't know. Haven't really played around with cycling all that much, but seems like it could be worth it. Moving on. Illusory Wrappings, 2 and a blue for an enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has base power and toughness 0/2. Worth noting that this does not remove any abilities, so if you're trying to neuter a god, such as if you want to make a Ketra no longer being a really strong indestructible double striker, you can turn it into a 0/2 indestructible double striker, but it can still use its activated abilities. It's still indestructible, so it can block for days, and if they have a way to increase its power, it can still double strike you for a decent amount of damage. Moving on. Pathmaker Initiate, 1 and a red for a 2/1 human wizard that has tap, target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. There's some annoying things you could do with Illusory Wrappings here. If you have a way to give something more power, and it has, so let's say you're playing a 3-color red, white, blue deck that has Pathmaker Initiate, a double striker, and Illusory Wrappings. If you've got a large creature, tap, make it unblockable, destroy the enchantment, swing. It's stupid, but it could work. Moving on to things that are probably not stupid combos. Pouncing Cheetah, 2 and a green for a 3/2 cat with flash. This is not a stupid combo, this is just a card. It's not a bad card, like the ability to hold up mana in green. Like if you're playing a green-blue deck and they're just like, okay, I'm just not going to cast spells this turn, cool. End of turn, Pouncing Cheetah. Oh, now you have a threat that I don't like. Yeah, it's not a bad card. 2 toughness is a bit awkward because Magma Jet is in the set. There's also you can distribute 2 -1/-1 counters among any number of target, or between up to 2 target creatures, so watch out for that. Yeah, 2 toughness is meh, but 3 power with flash, not terrible. Moving on. Cursed Minotaur, 2 and a black for a 3/2 zombie Minotaur with menace. Now that's also pretty good. Again, 2 toughness, got to be careful. But if you're in black, you've probably got some of the kill spells, so you got to be less worried about them for draft at the very least. And menace is pretty good on a 3-power creature for only 3 mana. And there is a zombie sub-theme in this as well, so having a zombie can be quite relevant. Yeah, all in all, I reckon this is a good card for draft. Moving on. Gift of Paradise, 2 and a green for an enchantment aura, enchant land. When Gift of Paradise enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. Enchanted land has tap, add 2 mana of any 1 color to your mana pool. This is mana ramp for 3 mana. It's also mana fixing, and it's also incidental life gain. So if you think that's worth 3 mana, I think it's honestly not terrible. You are spending probably your entire turn to do it, because if you're not, then either you've got a 1-drop, and that's probably fine, or a 2-drop, depending on which land you put this on. Keep in mind, this can be used on turn 4, just Gift of Paradise, 2 mana creature. That's not a terrible way to do this. But, yeah, it's alright. It's not bad. Could be better. Moving on. Tarkrop Elite, 3 and a white for a 2/2 bird warrior with flying. 4 mana, 2/2 flying, You may exert Tarkrop Elite as it attacks. When you do, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Exerting meaning an exerted creature will not untap during your next untap step. So, if you have a way to give vigilance, if you have a way to untap it, it can attack as normal the next turn. You can even exert it again. It being exerted doesn't stop you from exerting it again. That doesn't matter. Granted, by your next turn it won't be exerted, but still, it's pretty good. And yeah, the whole team pump, pretty nice in white. Like, if you're going wide, you want this guy, because if you got a bunch of 1/1 vigilance creatures, and you can make them 2/2 vigilance creatures, then that's just insane. Moving on though. Violent Impact, 3 and a red sorcery, destroy target artifact or land. So, strictly better, 3 and a red, destroy target land. That's pretty good. It also has cycling 2. So if you just want to pay 2 mana, get a different card. So if you've got, say, a cycling sub-theme in your deck, then yeah, this guy is pretty much fine. There aren't that many annoying artifacts in the deck, or in the set. There's the monuments that you might want to get rid of. Those can be very painful if left unchecked. But yeah, all in all, not a bad card. Moving on. Painted Bluffs, land, desert. Tap, add colorless to your mana pool. Pay 1 and tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. It's classic. It's got a new subtype, which I'm assuming is going to come into effect either this set, and I can't remember any cards, or the next set. But yeah, we will just see about that. Moving on though, we get Aven Initiate, 3 and a blue for a 3/2 bird warrior with flying. 4 mana, 3/2 flying. Yeah, that's playable. It's got evasion, 3 power, 4 mana. I'd say it's worth it. It also has Embalm for 6 and a blue. Embalm being you pay the Embalm cost and exile this card from your graveyard to make a token copy of it, except it's white and a zombie with no mana cost. Oh, white and a zombie in addition to its other colors and types. No, not in addition. White instead of its other types, and zombie in addition to its other creature types. And it has no converted mana cost. And you can only embalm as a sorcery, so no end of turn embalm your creature on the opponent's turn. Which makes sense, because otherwise these things would be ridiculously overpowered. Moving on though. Labyrinth Guardian, we are on to the uncommons now. It is a 1 and a blue for a 2/3 illusion warrior. When Labyrinth Guardian becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice it. So it's the trade-off for getting a 2 mana 2/3 in blue, I suppose. Illusions classically being when they become the target of a spell or ability. Of course, this one is only the target of a spell, so slight upgrade for illusions, I suppose. They can't just tap down to kill your Labyrinth Guardian. Yeah. It also has, oh yeah, I already mentioned the Embalm, but yes, Embalm for 3 and a blue. Not terrible, not the best. They do still have to spend a spell to target it. I don't know. Depends, if they have multi-target spells, they can do something to another creature and do something to this one. I don't know. Few options there, but we're going to move on to Ronus's Monument. Speaking of the monuments, 3 mana for a legendary artifact. Green creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast a creature spell, target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. So, not bad. It's doing what green wants to do and ramping. It's also doing what green wants to do and punch you in the face really hard. So, if you go turn 1, I don't know, what's the lifelink cat? Yeah, well, you have to wait until turn 3 to cast this anyway, but yeah. If you've already got some decent creatures on the board, cast a creature turn 4, you got some big pain in the opponent's face. Not bad, not bad. Moving on to our last uncommon, Weaver of Currents, 1 green blue for a 2/2 Naga Druid that taps to add double colorless to your mana pool. That's pretty good. If that only cost 2 with the Ronus Monument, oh, there's your mana ramp right there. Yeah, turn 4 being able to cast 2 3-mana creatures, I'd be okay with that. I'd be very okay with that. And being able to pump something up by 4/4 and giving it trample, or 2 things, +2/+2 and trample, so very nice. But that is it for the uncommons. We have, well, before we go to the rares, let's check our token. Hey, it's the Tarkrop Skirmisher. How about that? Yes, there's tokens for every single embalmed creature in the set. There's a lot of tokens in the set. Now, do we have a land? We do have a land. We have a forest. No full art lands in this one. But finally, we have a rare. So, what do we got? We have the Dread Wanderer. Single black mana for a 2/1 zombie jackal. Dread Wanderer enters the battlefield tapped. You can pay 2 and a black to return Dread Wanderer from your hand to the from your graveyard to the battlefield. Sorry. Activate this ability only any time you could cast a sorcery, and only if you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. Now there is a slight sub-theme of you having 1 or fewer cards in hand. People are calling it Heckment, and I'm quite a fan of that. Yeah, that is the end of the first booster, and let's just get cracking into the second one. We've got a pretty nice card for our rare in the first one. I don't mind the monuments; those are pretty sweet, and the green-blue ramp guy. He'll probably see a lot of play in draft, like being able to ramp up that much on turn 3. Yeah, it's actually better ramp than the enchantment that was there before. It doesn't fix you at all, but if you've got green-blue on turn 3, you might be fine. Alright, let's get cracking. Retcrop Spearmaster, 2 and a white for a 3/1 human warrior. You may exert Retcrop Spearmaster as it attacks. When you do, it gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. So, it's unlikely that you'll want to attack with this without exerting it. So this guy is probably going to be a 4/1 with first strike every second turn. Unless you have a way of untapping it, in which case you're probably fine, but yeah. Retcrop Spearmaster, not great. Like 1 toughness, it dies to pretty much everything. Well, any spell that targets it, it's probably dead. Yeah. Alright. Not bad, but not great. Moving on. We get a Seeker of Insight, 1 and a blue for a 1/3 human wizard. Tap, draw a card, and then discard a card. Oh hey, it's like a Merfolk Looter, but only worse. You can only activate this ability if you've cast a non-creature spell this turn. So, not the best. Not really at all. I don't think I would really play this in draft, because by the time you would actually want to do the looting, like, I guess you could do it on turn 3 after you counter a spell. Not a fan of this card, honestly. Not a fan. Moving on to a card that I'm probably a fan of, Fling. 1 and a red instant, as an additional cost to cast it, sack a creature. Fling deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to target creature or player. Never flinch, never falter, never fear. They're targeting your creature with a kill spell, fling it. They're like 1 creature away from death, fling it. You just want to get rid of a creature, fling it. Yeah, fling, good card. And it's target creature or player, so if you really need to get rid of their flyer, fling. Just throw it right up there, punch it out of the sky. Yeah, I like it, I like it. Moving on though. Anointer Priest, hello. 1 and a white for a 1/3 human cleric. Whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. And it embalms for 3 and a white. Now, there have been similar creatures to this in the past, such as Soul Attendant, which is whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. This one is by no means as strong. It does have 3 toughness, so it can stop a lot of the 2-power creatures, such as a Dread Wanderer. And it even kills that. How about that? But, yeah, there's... the incidental life gain on this guy is why you'd be playing it. You'd want to be in the white X, Embalmed X. Because this guy does have Embalm for 3 and a white, so... he's not bad in Embalmed X. He's probably not bad if you have an AKH's Monument, because gaining life every time you cast a creature spell, it's pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, we will move on to the next one. Is a Blighted Bat, 2 and a black for a 2/1 zombie bat with flying, and you can pay 1 generic mana to give it haste until end of turn. So, 3 mana 2/1 with flying, or 4 mana 2/1 hasty flying bat. And it's a zombie, so again, the zombie sub-theme could be worth looking into for this guy. I don't mind him. Don't mind him at all. Moving on. Shed Weakness. Green, a single green mana. Oh, let's try and get some focus. No, you're gonna. There we go. There's the focus. Shed weakness, single green mana instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and you may remove a -1/-1 counter from it. That's not bad. It's not bad. If you've got a creature that just happens to have a -1/-1 counter on it, that can happen quite often in this set, and you just want to attack with it, sure, keep up the shed weakness. You got a creature that you think they're going to use removal on, and you think you can save it by giving it +3/+3, or even just +2/+2 if they don't have a -1/-1 counter on it. Boom, shed weakness. It's not bad. I don't mind it. Moving on though. Cartouche of Strength. The cartouches. Here we are. 2 and a green for an enchantment or a cartouche. Enchant creature you control. When Cartouche of Strength enters the battlefield, you may have enchanted creature fight target creature an opponent controls. Each deals damage equal to its power of the other. That's how fight works. The enchanted creature has +1/+1 and has trample. So it gets the +1/+1 before the fight. It's like a hunt the weak, but it also gives the creature permanent +1/+1 and trample. And it's a cartouche, which is a relevant subtype. If I happen to see any trials, I will mention them. But yeah, I quite like the green cartouche. I like fight cards. They're good fun. For me. Moving on. Evolving Wilds. Hey, who doesn't like mana fixing? Tap, sack it, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Easy done. No need to explain that one any further. Impeccable Timing. 1 and a white instant. Impeccable Timing deals 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Hello, combat trick. We've seen this in Kaladesh. It works pretty well. They reprinted it. It's a good one. Moving on. Hyena Pack. 2 red for a 3/4 hyena. That's it. That's all there is. It's 4 toughness in red. That's honestly pretty strong. There is a piece of red removal that is deal 4 damage to target creature. So it still dies to that, but this thing holds a cartouche very nicely. Very, very nicely. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Moving on. Onward to Victory. We have our first uncommon and also our first Aftermath card. Onward. 2 and a red for an instant. Target creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is its power. Victory. Aftermath. You can only cast this spell from your graveyard, then exile it. Victory reads, it is a sorcery. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn for 2 and a white. So the way this works is, you cast Onward as an instant. You can cast this on your turn. And then, when this card is in your graveyard, so you don't have to have cast Onward to get this into your graveyard, it just needs to be there. Can we get some zoom happening? This thing's awkward with the autofocus sometimes. There we go. Yeah, you can only cast the spell from your graveyard. So you can discard this card to put it in there. You can cast Onward to get it in there. If it's milled, it'll be in there. It works. Not terrible. Not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. Yeah. Let's move on to the second of 3 uncommons. Vizier of Remedies. 1 and a white for a 2/1 human cleric. If 1 or more -1/-1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many -1/-1 counters -1 are put on instead. An interesting card. You'll need all your strength for the trials to come. That is rather strong against a lot of the -1/-1 tech, because a lot of it is just like a single -1/-1 counter. Sometimes it's 2, but I don't mind this card at all. This is probably a fairly high pick. It might be more of a sideboard card, but it is still a 2/1 for 2 mana, so it's an on-curve creature that has upside. I see no problems with this card. Yeah, I like it. Moving on. Gale Strike. 2 and a white. 2 and a blue for an instant. Return target tapped creature to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Strong Wings make strong winds. Oh, that's going to be a tongue twister. Yeah, that's an interesting card. It probably returns an attacking creature to its owner's hand, but it can return a creature with an activated ability. Or if you happen to tap down a creature, you can just bounce it. I don't mind this card. That's not bad. Before we go any further, let's have a look at our token. The Anointed Priest. Hey, we're getting all the tokens that we actually had. Lovely. And we should have just a land. We get another forest. Not a bad one, not a bad one. And our rare, we have Honored Hydra. 5 and a green for a 6/6 Snake Hydra with Trample. Has Embalm for 3 and a green. Even gods have pets. I like this card. 6 mana, 6/6 Trample. Fine. You can get it back from your graveyard as a white zombie. Fine. This is a good card. I like this card. If I'd had these two as my first packs, I'd probably be going black-green, some graveyard tech. What else would we have in here? We had the Honored Hydra, the Dread Wanderer. What did we have that was black-green graveyard stuff? Cartouche of Strength, very strong with either of those. If you just want to use this as a fight card, you can put it on the Dread Wanderer, then get the Dread Wanderer back. Shed Weakness, rather nice. Blighted Bat, strong flyer. What else? No, I don't think we put the Weaver of Currents. We definitely put Ronus' Monument in there, though. If we can give the Honored Hydra +2/+2 on Trample, oh boy. Worth noting that the monuments do not count Embalm costs. What else do we have? Painted Bluffs, always got to have fixing. Gift of Paradise, fixing. Cursed Minotaur, good card. Pouncing Cheetah, good card. Yeah, we got a few strong cards for this. So, yeah, black-green. Little bit of graveyard stuff there, but yeah, not bad, not bad. If you could get a what's that card called, Gravecrawler in here, you'd have a pretty decent black-green stuff deck here, especially with the Ronus. The monuments with Gravecrawler are rather strong, because you probably already cast one creature to get the effect, then you cast Gravecrawler to get the effect, which puts another creature back into your hand, then you cast that creature again. It's just nice. So yeah, if you're going monuments, try and pick up a Gravecrawler if you're in black. But that is going to be it for this booster opening video. It was a pretty good one. Pretty good start. I like Dread Wanderer. I'm quite a fan of Honored Hydra as well. Yeah. But that's going to be it for this booster opening video. I'll see you whenever the next one happens for some more Amonkhet. See you then.